Welcome to the Manuchehri podcast. Over the last 30 years, it has been my joy to assist humanity in aligning with their magnificence so they may heal, discover their natural gifts, and communicate with loved ones living on the other side. May you also experience delight while we dance in the powerful, intuitive world of energy. Let's get going. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Where Energy Meets the Divine. I'm Marie. I'll be your host today. If you are returning to the podcast, thank you so much. I love that we're all learning together. If you're brand new to the podcast, welcome. I hope you enjoy the format and enjoy the questions that people ask and that I intuitively answer for them. I also wanted to point out that I have a bunch of classes starting in the fall. You can go to energyintuitive.com and look at the class schedule that's coming up. I'll be sending out my newsletter any day now, where I also answer questions. Some of them were quite interesting. And if you could like and subscribe below, that would be wonderful. So before we get to the phone lines, which you can also access at energyintuitive.com, go to the podcast page and there's instructions on how to leave a voicemail that I play here, the recording of it, and then I answer the question. It's really fun. I really love the format. I did radio for 14 some years, and it was fun, but it was loud and you couldn't really hear people very well. People were driving in their cars as they are asking a question live on air. It was a little, a little wild. Today, I want to talk about the seventh layer of the auric field. I briefly mentioned it on our last podcast that it's got a word on it. And the word is individualization. It's really about being your own unique self, embodying your higher self. The higher self concept is that when you come to Earth, you only bring a percentage of your soul. You can't bring your whole soul to Earth because everyone would go crazy if they did. We would go bananas because Earth is not a highly conscious reality. People can gain consciousness on Earth, but overall, it's considered a lower conscious reality space. Words that exist here on Earth don't exist in other dimensions outside of Earth, like war and famine, crime. They don't exist. But also in non-physical realities, you don't have a body, so nobody can really hurt your body. You can't starve, can't kill each other, because energy cannot be destroyed. That's why reincarnation is real, because when someone's body dies on Earth, their energy leaves the body and goes up to their higher self, which is the larger majority of their soul, and regroups, regenerates, and takes information from that life experience into their higher self, which allows for vast amounts of consciousness and awareness to occur. So the seventh layer of the auric field, with the phrase individualization, or the word, could have the phrase, oh, my unique, incredible self, whatever you want to picture the language that's on that field. It governs, from a physical perspective, all of the nervous system in your body, all of your skin. And it's about your connection to the multisensory world and your connection to your higher self. Because even though you only bring a portion of your soul to Earth, you have access to all of your soul 24/7, all the time, no matter where you are. And of course, you'll join it and make different decisions about different places you want to reincarnate to, which doesn't always mean a physical form. There aren't really that many physical realities in the vast cosmos. There's more non-physical realities. So I'm bringing this up not only so that you have healthy skin and a really incredible neurological system, because you are allowing yourself to individuate. You're allowing yourself to become unique. There's also something that has to happen, which I think I talk about a lot, but I don't think I think this is an opportunity for me to express it a little bit differently. There's no way in heck that you could ever love yourself too much or think too highly of yourself, especially old soul types who already love everyone on the planet for the most part. I mean, some old souls absolutely do, but the majority of old souls love the majority of humans on the planet and wish them well, and wish that heaven was here on earth, which actually can happen, maybe not yet affecting everyone, but certainly individuals can have heaven on earth, because it's all about consciousness. It's about perception. That's all everything is about. Humans do need to change their perception of themselves. They do need to see, hear, and feel themselves as if they are sensing the whole picture of who they are, as if they are connecting to and communicating to their whole self, their whole consciousness, their higher self, their God consciousness. When you do communicate to yourself that way, which is very loving and kind and appreciative, that's how you individuate. That's how you get to things that are very purposeful for you, that are very rewarding for you, that are very fulfilling for you. It's not about finding something that allows you to give back. That's where old souls get stuck. They're like, I want to do something. I want it to be my life purpose, but it has to be formulated on giving back. That's where the mistake is made. And not for the reasons that you think necessarily. But when you're looking again at pleasing others and helping the collective versus loving, adoring, and cherishing and honoring you, it's difficult to get into those higher purpose type fulfillments. It's challenging because you're approaching it not from your God self. You're approaching it from a place of, I need to do good things. I need to be able to provide something for the earth to get better. You don't want to approach it that way. First of all, I promise you, if you can approach it in the way that I'm going to describe, which would be in authentic alignment with the 7th layer of your auric field, this place of individualization, it will be helpful. I promise you. But you can't move towards, I'm going to help other people. I'm going to do this because it's good for humanity, and reach your individualization. Think of athletes like Olympians. They do really amazing things, incredible, amazing things, and they get to show their skill set. But there is, and this word isn't correct in the description of it, there's a selfishness to them in order to be as successful as they are. They have to train a lot. They have to think about themselves. They have to work on their mind, their thought processes, their perception. They obviously have to work on their body. They have to sleep well, eat nutritious food. They have to focus on themselves. And that's what leads them to these high levels of athletic competitions where they can continue to be successful. So the same is true for you. You have to focus on yourself, and then you can entertain the world like a professional athlete does, or provide something that changes the educational system or allows the dolphins to have more room in the sea, or whatever it is that you have great passion for. Like I have incredible passion for the human race. I mean, I love all of life. I love flowers and animals and grass and trees, and I love everything, but I am massively in love with humanity. So if you continue to think about, well, what can I do to give back? Because I know that's where my purpose is. You are right. Your purpose is in that, but you may not know in what way you're going to give back. Is it an international stage where you do 1,000,000 backflips and 3 incredible twisty things in the air that nobody else has ever done, and we all, in delight and are filled with energy? That's a way of giving back. That is a way of giving back. That's a healing. Or are you an artist who paints in his or her workshop or their workshop tirelessly through the night, all by yourself? And your art hangs somewhere where everybody can see, or in perhaps someone's dwelling, who every time someone passes by, it heals them. I want you to stop being focused on, you have to give back, you have to fix things. I would prefer that you start to look at things, and this would be the perception that I want you to adopt if you feel so desirable to do, that everything's fine. The earth was created to be the way it is. As we grow consciously, it will continue to change. We have more peace on earth than we ever have had in any documented time. We live closer together than we ever have before. It just happens to be that violence is reported 300 times more than it actually occurs. Like every violent event is reported over and over and over again, as long as humans will watch it, because that allows the news media to continue. And so it may feel like we're more violent. And we also know of violence around the world, whereas before we didn't have that awareness. We didn't have televisions or cell phones or the internet where you could show pictures of, horrific things. So in order for you to experience your life purpose or purposes, because we have many actually, you have to become selfish. You really won't be becoming selfish. You're going to move into alignment with your magnificence. But if you feel like you're being selfish, you are on the correct track. And it will help your skin and it will help your neurological system so you don't have weird diseases show up in your body. When it comes to individualization, I think humans have to constantly reevaluate where they're putting their energy. Is this good for me? Is this in my highest good? Or am I doing this to please others or to feel loved? Can I just love myself? So the answer is yes. And that means you need to pour on the love and appreciation and joy and happiness for yourself, even when you're simply sitting on a toilet and doing absolutely nothing but relieving your body, which is actually a wonderful thing for any human being to do. So that's your homework assignment for all of you so that you can experience your magnificence and allow your life purposes to flow out on earth and allow yourself to be really authentically happy. That's where true fulfillment comes from, is from having these life purposes, which, we have many of them, but I think most of the people who are calling me and asking me about it, which I think is a great question, it has more to do with a vocation, a work. And I've already talked about how wealth is separate than your work in terms of the vibration and the energy of it. And that's what humans need to put their frequencies towards. Okay, now I'm going to head off to the beautiful phone lines and see what people have to say. I'm excited.
Hi Marie, my name's Steph. I'm from a small town called Middlesbrough in the northeast of England, and you just popped up on my YouTube feed, and I'm so glad I found you. I really resonate with everything you do, so I'm so grateful to you. My question is, I've been on a very slow and steady path, I feel, to my soul's purpose and spirituality. And it's led me from being a school teacher to a yoga teacher. And also I work as a massage therapist and reflexologist now. So I feel like I'm very connected to helping people and trying to help people heal themselves through my therapies. But I feel that I've come to some kind of block and I'm stuck, that I'm not really being my authentic true self, because I'm very much in the physical and I want to be more of an energy worker and be more open to people about my beliefs and spiritual beliefs and everything to do with energy and frequencies. And something's blocking me. I think a lot of it is to do with a lot of my family and friends and people around me. A lot of people are very skeptical about anything to do with this. Really? People are even scared even. Really? And I think that sort of stops me. But I really want to be my authentic self and work energetically, because also for my children, I'm so lucky. I've got 4 children. My youngest is only a little baby, and she was a complete miracle baby. And a Reiki practitioner and someone else who was very spiritual told me that her soul had chosen me and us as a family, and she's been sent here to do lots of important things and to help a lot of people. So I feel really responsible to kind of instill it into my children and my family of having this kind of more spiritual, open belief. So also, as well as getting through my blockage that holds me back and I'm quite quiet about everything, how do I encourage my children to lead this kind of life where they feel free to be spiritual and connected to spirit and frequencies and energy and all this stuff, without the society we live in and people around them to kind of knock it out of them, basically. I wondered, how do I support them and for me to get through my blocks when society doesn't really support us? Okay, thanks a lot, Marie. I'm really looking forward to hearing your next podcast. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much. Such a great question, Stephanie. And thank you for all the work you do in the world. I think in terms of your children, lead by example and speak to them the truth all the time. And I just don't have the experience you have. In other words, you say that society is not open to it. I don't have that experience. and we live in the same world. You live in a lovely country. I live in a lovely country. I think if you change your energy and start talking about it from a joyful place, a happy, loving place, and something matter of fact, because it is matter of fact to you, it is really what you believe in, I think you'll be surprised by people's reactions. I mean, maybe I'm just completely blind and I can't see or hear or feel the negativity of those who feel differently about energy and spirituality. I mean, that is a possibility. But I think because I love it so much and I find it so interesting and fascinating, and I'm 1,000,000% convinced that it's real, I naturally attract people into my life who validate those experiences for me. And I also don't care what other people think. I truly don't. It doesn't matter to me. When people stay in the present moment, which is critical to re-enter multiple times a day, that's what meditation is for. It's to teach us what it feels like to be present so that we can do it when we're not meditating, at least for a few minutes. I like to think many, many, many times a day. I think that's crucial. When you stay present, you don't care. You just don't care. You're enjoying yourself. You're having fun. You're experiencing your own life. You just don't care about whatever your mind is trying to tell you. So I think you need to do what everyone needs to do, is stop listening to your brain, move in the present moment, align to your own energy. I think it would be fun for you to teach a class on energy. You love it. You believe in it. Why don't you start by teaching it? And also, in all of the work you do, start talking about it. I don't know a yoga teacher that doesn't talk about energy personally. So just realize it is really mainstream. Your mind is afraid of your magnificence. So humans and their evolutionary process are terrified of being seen and heard for their unique gifts and magnificence. I know everybody's going to think that's not true, but it is 1,000,000% true. I can tell you, when I grow, when I become more of my authentic self, I have to nurture myself significantly so that I can accept a bigger role, to be seen more, to be adored more, to be appreciated, to be valued. And that's what happens when people step into their magnificence. People love that about them and appreciate it. And we're really terrified about being witnessed and seen for our authenticity. So those are my thoughts. Get going. It's exciting. Get going. Okay. Thank you.
Aloha, my name is Dolly Beth. I'm originally from Hawaii, but I'm now in Texas. And I am going through an amazing transition as my youngest child is graduating from high school and heading to college. And as wonderful as it's been to raise my daughters, I have been waiting for this moment for a long time to now be able to do things that I have wanted to do. And that I feel called to do for a long time. I've been very blessed to be a psychology professor at the university.
Nice.
And psychotherapist with my private practice. And I have just loved every minute of it. I've been so grateful to be able to help people. Teaching, most of all, has brought so much joy in my life for the past 20 years. And I feel now called to retire from teaching psychology and traditional psychotherapy and to step into my calling of spiritual coaching and mediumship.
Perfect.
And so my question is, what is the first step to do that? I have surrounded my life with things that bring me joy. I have not been this joyful since I think I was like in high school. So I'm country dancing and I'm walking in nature and I'm surrounding my home with roses and flowers, which I love, and going to places that bring me joy. And I know we're not supposed to eat sugar, but I'm eating sweets that bring me joy in moderation. And it's just, I feel so free and it's just wonderful. So, but I also know that I can continue doing those things that bring me joy. I have so much love in my life and grateful for that and feel blessed. And I need your guidance in what is just the first step. I need the first step and in how to transition to that new world that's been really waiting for me for the past 20 years.
Yeah.
And that I have put on hold. And I know now it's the right time.
Yeah.
I appreciate any guidance. Thank you so much. Mahalo.
Aloha, Dolly Beth. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. I'm excited for the world too. You're in this perfect position. I'm also so thrilled for all the people you did teach, because I know you taught them key important aspects of human psychology and how people could really help individuals. Because really, although I'm sure you must have had to teach this, maybe not, who needs to know anything about Freud? I mean, I think that's a complete waste of time and energy, other than what not to do, or how to think. So you're ready for this. I do think you're on the right path. You're doing all the right joyful things. You're excited about your new adventure. Maybe a little sabbatical would be great for you, some rest, and like continue doing it. Eat some sweets and smell flowers and sing and dance. Like, you're building the energy right now for your new profession. And it's really the same profession, but you're focusing on a different vibrational aspect of it. You're going to attract people who are emotionally more stable in their life. And I'm talking about your private practice, who don't need constant, consistent one-on-one care. They may have moments in their life where they need that, but you're moving into more of a coaching aspect, where you're bringing your psychic abilities, your intuitive abilities, your mediumship abilities. I think, number one, you should start telling people about this, because you're going to be delighted and surprised that people are going to, oh, wow. Okay, well, that makes sense about why you're so good at what you do, and why you're so helpful, and why my life has changed so much. Great. I want to work on this and this and this and this. So I think you need to make some business cards, start handing those out to people. Maybe create a web page or a website if you don't have one, which you could very well. But if you do, make it newer and different, put the right language that represents who you are right now, and start just feeling the success you've already had, but in just a slightly different type of people that you'll be attracting. People who can catch the ball and run to the finish line a lot quicker, which I think that you're also craving, is not having long, drawn out, and you loved it. It's always great to have a career that one's loved. And to also know when you're not loving it as much as you did before, because that doesn't mean anything's wrong. It means, great job, you've changed, you've evolved. It's time for you to have a different experience. That's all that means. And think about teaching spirituality. I think that'll make a lot of fun for you. But I do get this, stay where you are and stay in sabbatical for as long as you can, just allowing yourself to rest and have fun and play, because you're building your energy for this. You're recalibrating your subatomic particles to align to this new way of channeling information, where you can be more of your authentic self and not have to teach about old weird paradigms of psychotherapy that, whatever. That's what I think. So you're on the right track. This is great, but you have to start telling people who you are and what you are doing whenever you're ready. Okay. Thank you so much.
Hello, Marie. This is Athena. 4 of my family members crossed over in a very short period, including my husband and my mother. This was about 5 years ago, and I feel like I'm emerging out of that experiencing
Yeah.
that grief. I'm wondering if you see a vocation for me. I took care of my husband. He was paralyzed, and I stayed home with him and looked after him for the duration of our marriage. And now I'd like to see if there's something I can contribute to the world that might be a vocation for me. My little poodle Merlin is here next to me, and we're both sending you lots of love and appreciation, Marie. Thank you for everything you do. I really hope to meet you one day.
Oh,
Bye-bye.
I hope so too. Who knows? Might start teaching some courses, like a couple day weekends, and travel a little bit with it. That could be super fun. It's definitely on my radar. Hello, Merlin. Charles is in here on the floor, all curled up. He's waiting for a walk. First of all, thank you for taking care of your lovely husband and caring for all your family. You are a people pleaser. So I'm not recommending a vocation yet until you can change your energy about this, because you overgive, you people please, you don't know how to really check in on who you are and what you want. You're a very much of an outpouring of energy towards others. And I'm sure that served incredible purposes, but it's not in your best interest. The universe literally said, you're better off just doing absolutely nothing than going out in the world and overgiving again. Like, it's exhausting. It's wearing you out. Old souls do not need to learn compassion. I know I've said this a million times. Old souls come here to learn self-compassion. That means, what do I want? What's going to make me happy? And you don't know how to even receive that information yet. So your subatomic particles are still very much, pushing your energy out for others. This is like your comfort. It's not healthy for you, but it's comfortable. It's familiar. A lot of people do what's familiar over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, even if it's not in their best interest. For example, I've hosted the holidays probably close to 40 years. Definitely need to change, need to do something different than hosting all the holidays. So I want you to sit with feeling love for you and joy and care and interest and curiosity. I want you to sit with that. I would love it if you read some books on people pleasing. I know there's other terms that I'm not aware of about that topic. I would love it if you became selfish and became super, super curious about you, rather than finding a job and running out the door and again, throwing your energy out of your body and giving it to everyone else. We need to have an energetic regrouping. Codependency, that's the word I was looking for, or the words. So that's what I think is next. And then you can look for a vocation, but this needs to be healed. This is an extremely old, and I mean centuries old pattern. And because you're so good at it, it's so familiar, you just want to go and do it again. But that's not in your best interest. You won't be able to discover something that's truly fulfilling and fun and unique about you. Instead of always discovering what's unique about others, which is one of your gifts, you need to turn that mirror around and get very curious about you, which I think you will be delighted about and thrilled and surprised. That's what I think. Okay, good luck with all of that.
Hi, Marie. My name is Jane. I'm calling you from Phoenix, Arizona. So I have a question about something that happened to me. It could have been a dream or it could have been real. It felt real, but I was sleeping at the time I wake up and I look into my bathroom. And this is going to sound silly, but I saw what I would call a gray alien. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't scared. It didn't speak, or we didn't communicate in any way, but I kind of just rolled over and went back to sleep.
Yeah.
Kind of just like of a knowing. And then the next day, I could see gold symbols filtering through my blinds.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe another dream, or is this my guides communicating with me? So that's all I really want to know. Did it really happen, or is it just a figment of my imagination? Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome, Jane. Such a cool question. It really happened. I mean, humans are not the only species in the universe. There are so many unique species, and we reincarnate into these different realms of existence too, if we choose to. So aliens exist, just like plants are alive with consciousness. I talk to plants all day long. I acknowledge them just like I would another human being or a dog. I mean, I talk to dogs all day long, even though their owners may think I'm a little weird. I'm like, oh, hi, how are you? But so yeah, there are aliens. And I know this because I had a personal experience, not unusual to yours. Mine wasn't totally gray. It was when my youngest daughter was an infant and she was in her crib, which is kind of unusual for our family. We had like 2 beds in our master bedroom. So we had a family bed, but she was sleeping in her bed, and we could see into the room from what the angle of the bed. And I was asleep. I woke up. So this is real. This really happened to you. I woke up, but I felt paralyzed, like I couldn't move. And I could see into the hallway, and I saw this being, not very tall. I probably wouldn't have used the word gray. I'm not sure if I really thought of a color. Walk into my daughter's room and kind of levitate so that he could look into the crib. And he stared at her for a long time. Who knows what he did or didn't do? And I call it a he, but that was just my perception of the energy. And it was kind of a round dome, tall being, but they were eyes. And I fell back to sleep. And it wasn't really until I think a couple years later, because I wasn't sure if it was a dream or it was real. This is before I knew I was an intuitive. And my children's father started talking about this same experience that he had. So he had the same awareness that I did that same night. And that's when I went, oh my gosh, that was real. It really happened. I don't know what it did to Mina, but aliens can help humanity evolve. I think one of the reasons why we haven't had a total out nuclear war on Earth is because I think so many beings on the other side and in other dimensions, like aliens, do everything in their power to make sure that we don't do something as idiotic as that. I don't even think nuclear power should exist on Earth. Clearly, we don't even know how to store it. Like it will burn through the canisters that we put in the ocean that we put, use uranium into before its half-life. It lives for thousands and thousands of years. It's not healthy for humanity. Humanity doesn't know how to use it correctly. And one of the things we do is we make numerous weapons of war. We could already destroy the planet many times over by what we've created so far. Probably the United States has the biggest arsenal, actually. So we're one of the worst culprits. So aliens can help humanity, can be extremely helpful. They are more conscious than humans. That's why they're more advanced in their technology. So I think that's why you saw the gold sparkly things the next day. I think that some lovely spiritual juice was dumped on you by the alien or put in your bathroom that you brushed your teeth with the next day. I'm not sure how it worked, but yeah, it was real. That was a really cool question. I loved it. Thank you.
Hi, Marie. My name is Janice. I'm calling from Maryland. And I just want to say you are such a bright light in this world. My question is, I have been in the workplace for forever. And, I was in it to make money. But now that I'm post retirement or in those retirement years, I feel that my gifts and talents have always been robust, but I've never really given them permission to, be the catalyst to my purpose, and to my livelihood. So my question is, I just kind of need to, first of all, ask for a reading, and then secondly, to ask whether or not me stepping into the desires of my heart, is this the time to do it? I
When
want to
will
start
you?
a HR consulting company. Actually, I've kind of laid the groundwork for it, but there are other things that I am also talented in. So I just kind of need some direction, and I appreciate it. Appreciate you too. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Janice. When are you going to do it, or when are you going to have the time? Now is the time. And when you're making decisions about what's next, first I want you to remember the words you used: heartfelt. You choose out of joy. Could you do this HR consulting? Yes, but it just feels like more work to me. It feels lighter than the work that you've done. I think you've had some very, responsible, powerful jobs. I really do. And so you could do this HR consulting. It would be less work. It would be more fun. But is it the of your soul? In saying that, could you practice feeling what makes you happy? If humans could really take that seriously, because I use it for everything, and what supplements to purchase, what friends to have in my life, what places to vacation. I measure it on my joy level because I know what joy feels like to me. I practice it often. I allow myself to have those experiences. Well, that's actually the barometer of, oh, that's in our best interest, is joy. So if you need to practice that joy feeling and then look at all these options that you have, there could be numerous things that you end up doing, especially in the creative realm. And then when you discern like, oh my gosh, that is really, really super joyful, then do that. Your mind will not understand this process, nor will it be very supportive of that process. And that is something you and everyone else on the planet needs to ignore. Please don't listen to the mind. The mind is only here for logical things, making sure I brought some warm water in since I'm talking for like an hour, and that I shut the door and checked my microphone and all these other logical things that we have to do in the physical realm. But intuitive responses, which lead to our highest degree of fulfillment and are way more accurate than logic, by the way, comes from understanding your own vibration of what joy feels like to you. And I don't mean a little bit of joy, I mean lots of joy, like tons of joy, like tons of joy. Okay, I hope that's helpful. And I'm happy you're not working as hard as you have. And I'm excited that you have the time and the energy, because you have a ton of energy, to do things that are a million times more fulfilling for you. Congratulations.
Hi, my name is Michelle from Mableton, Georgia. Hi, Marie. Thank you for taking my message. So, I have felt heavy with pressure for many years now to find my life purpose. And I started a line of children's toys to help children and to also create an entrepreneur lifestyle that I envision for myself, but then that can also help others. So, I still work a full-time corporate job. And then on the side, I also do some consulting work. So the corporate job isn't something I love, but it pays my personal bills. And then the consulting work is more enjoyable and it feeds the toy business, but it isn't enough to live on. So the toy line isn't growing, and that's like ultimately my goal for, what I do in my life with my life is to focus on that toy line. But it's not growing and I feel stuck, and I feel like if I could just put more time into it, it could go somewhere. But with all that going on, I feel burnt out and
Yeah,
I'm losing
exhausted.
just motivation in general, in
Yeah.
all areas of my
Yeah.
life. And I can see the big vision for what I created, and I've seen it for over a decade, but I feel lost in just how to get there or if I'm even on the right path to getting there. And the best way I know to describe how I feel is handcuffed, like a tug of war of what I think I need to do to live versus what I wish I could do. And so, like, even a few years ago, I quit my cushy corporate job to follow my heart. And I ended up with anxiety over not having a stable income, and then just got right back into the corporate world,
Yeah.
which in turn caused even more anxiety.
Yeah.
So I think deep down, I'm not living as my authentic self, and that's holding me back. But it's like I'm stuck and I don't know how to get the authenticity to come out. So, like, I do what I expect others want me to do or think I should do. And when I try to sit with what I want and where I want to go, like, my mind just goes blank. So, I wanted to ask if you could provide some sort of guidance as to just where I'm at, and even like regarding my path to finding my purpose and my joy. So thank you so much and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Michelle. And thank you so much, too, for everything you do in the world. And yeah, you're tired. As my career changes, I had to see less clients. It actually works for me energetically. I'm happier, I'm healthier, I have more free time. It makes me sad that people have to wait longer to see me, or like, I haven't had an opening in my calendar for probably 7 or 8 months. So, but what I'm trying to say is we can't do everything and maintain our energy and vibration. Like, we can't. That's just a reality. We're in a physical form and you have tons of energy and you've accomplished enormous feats. But you're a little confused on a couple concepts. First of all, do not listen to your mind. But before you quit the corporate job again, I think it'll be critical for you to recognize that wealth and work are separate frequencies and vibrations. You need to stop mixing them because that's what's bringing your logical mind into play. You're trying to understand it. It's kind of like people who do one-on-one work. They're counting how many people they see in a week, and they're making decisions based on that in terms of their work when it's a separate energy. Having a healthy relationship with wealth is what allows for resources to flow in our life, no matter what we do, no matter if we work or take huge amounts of time off, or start to move into retirement, no matter what our age is. We want to have all of the wealth that we desire, no matter where we are in that life path. So stop mixing them. It's like mixing, I'm trying to think of something that would taste terrible, like baking soda with chocolate milk. Yuck, it doesn't work. Maybe it'll look slightly pretty, but it doesn't work. So that's what you keep doing. You must stop. And I've spoken endlessly on this podcast about the vibration of wealth. Back again to our powerful word, joy. Focusing on the things that bring you authentic personal joy, which usually has nothing to do with other people, because people can disappoint us. So people don't always bring us continued joy. So this needs to be something that brings you continued joy. It could be something as simple as swinging on a swing or swimming in the ocean. I feel activity, personal activity when I think of you. It could be riding a bike, skiing down a mountain. So before you engage with any form of wealth, you need to go back to this thing that raises your vibration and think that and feel that before you move into activation with your wealth, before you write a check, before you transfer funds, before you put your password onto your online banking. Before you do anything financial, you have to switch your energy, because having healthy wealth, regardless of what we do, is about our relationship to wealth. And you want to be in a joyful, highly powerful experience with the vibration of wealth. And that's the way to do it. So the toy thing, I'm not getting that energy on it, but what you said, because it helps others, that cannot be your driving force. That's the icing on the cake when it helps others. That's the after experience. Like, I studied energy medicine and laid hands on people because it brought me phenomenal joy. The fact that it helps other people is the icing on the cake. It's the reward of following your joy. It's the reward that, oh my gosh, it positively can affect other people and has. That's, breathtaking. That's beautiful. That's the reward. But the real work comes from choosing over and over and over again what brings you personal joy. So you might need to go back to the table. What I see for you is an online business. I'm not sure if it is toys. It could be. I'm not, again, I don't get on it. It's just that you need to look at these things very differently. You need to change your perception about these things. You cannot look at this stuff logically at all. But it is an online business. So instead of selling, because I'm not sure, maybe you do manufacture these toys and sell them on your own website, or do you, sell them to large toy companies? I don't really know, but your own website is what an online business is, what it is. And you may do more than one thing. Okay, so that's your homework. I've given you some homework. I know you can do it. When the fear starts to come, and this is for everyone, just love yourself deeply, generously, kindly. Be kind to yourself, and then that anxiety will pass. But it's through loving yourself so that we can reconnect to our higher self, because our higher self thinks that everything's perfect, and we just need to recalibrate our energy by being self-loving and engaging back in our self-worth. And then we zip up with our higher self, and then we get inspired and get great ideas. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Hi, Marie. This is Paula from Victoria, Australia. My question is in regards to my son's girlfriend, who is anaphylactic and has several allergies. She's been told that there's nothing that she can do to negate this, and that the episodes will become more frequent and that she'll be more sensitive to even smaller amounts. Just wondering if there's any advice that you could give in relation to that, and if there is any cure, which I would love, for her to be able to just, eat out with friends and relax and
Right.
not have to worry every time she's eating away from home. Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome, Paula. Cool question. Really interesting. Your son's girlfriend has a tremendous amount of fear. She had this fear before she was born. So anaphylaxis can be and often is connected to fear, high levels of anxiety from even previous lifetimes. Definitely related to her previous lifetimes because her allergies started quite young. So young people who have strong allergies have an enormous amount of fear. And in order for us to get to a place where this can be healed or significantly decreased, so we don't have to be on the edge of our seats, because we all have certain allergies. Like when I eat honeydew melon, which I don't, I get bumps in my mouth. If I eat hazelnuts or shellfish, which I didn't always have an allergy for, my tongue begins to swell. So I don't eat those either. So anaphylaxis means that that the immune system was so repressed regarding those foods, because most people who get allergies later in life, it's just from a buildup of consuming food that we had minor allergies to, but the allergy reaction increases. So children who have like nut allergies and, significant anaphylactic type allergies, they were born with their immune system repressed. They had an allergic reaction and their immune system is repressed. Fear plays a major role in this. And I know she's afraid because you even said she's anxious and she wants to be able to eat out freely without thinking about, did they accidentally do something, right? Even though she told them quite clearly her allergies. Things that heal energetically first. That has to change. So your son's girlfriend needs to learn not to be afraid. And I don't mean do risky things, but stop the vibration of fear, because it's putting her in fight or flight, which is elevating her cortisol level, which is activating her body to reduce its immune response. That's literally what's happened. So if we can get the fear to go away, and the fear is very past life. So she doesn't have to figure out even exactly what it is, but if she could be really super kind and nurturing to herself over and over and over again, because she's hard on herself, like, oh, I should have explained it better. And, oh, I shouldn't have gone to that restaurant. Or, oh, she comes up with all these self-critical ideas. Her parents are not the best at nurturing, in my opinion. This is my opinion, and I obviously don't know them, but I'm reading the energy. I'm sure they're good people, but not the best nurturers. If she could start to nurture herself and say even sweetheart, honey, darling, sunshine, handsome, whatever word she wants to use. I'm so sorry you're scared. I'm really sorry you're scared. You have every right to feel that way, but I'm so, so sorry. And I just love you so much, even in this moment when you're terrified. Because when we do that to other people, we help them to relax. They start to release those hormones that are putting them into fight or flight. They start to calm down just because someone is there nurturing them. And then they move into their whole self. And when you're aligned in your whole self, you make different choices. You start to see the world more intuitively. In other words, you eat at different restaurants, or you somehow attract a different outcome to you because you're vibrating in a higher frequency. Fear is a very low vibration. And when we're in fear, we attract more negative outcomes. We don't mean to. It's not like we desire it. It's just a natural energetic match. Fear attracts more fear. Joy attracts more joy. Self-nurturing attracts more nurturing experiences and activities all around. So can she be cured, or at the very least have these allergies so reduced that she doesn't have to go into anaphylactic? Yes, but it's the fear that has to be recalibrated into some other type of energy. And it's very, very old. And so it's extremely familiar. Okay, I hope that's helpful. Thank you.
Hello, Marie. This is Valerie. I would love your insight into this phase of my spiritual journey. Things have really opened up in the last 3 years. A lot going on with me spiritually, emotionally, physically, and would love your perspective. Thanks so much for your podcast and for answering my question.
Hi, Valerie. You didn't give me a lot of details, but what I heard is that you need to start to take action. Like you're having a lot of internal growth and expansion, but now you need to start to take action. I think it would be fun for you to create a manifesting group. I actually think everyone should have one. And here's some rules, although my manifesting group doesn't have these exact rules. But uh, those of us who are in the group, we have, our lives are very full, very rewarding, very successful for us. So this rule that I'm about to express, we don't necessarily follow it. So when you create a manifesting group, it's about practicing to run your energy at higher levels and then expressing desires that you have and then holding that energy for each other while you're in the group. And when you're in the group and meeting once a month or twice a month, it could be beneficial. Some people can meet once a week because it helps you to raise your frequency and your vibration. So one of the rules is, and I think it's a good rule, is you don't come to the group to complain. You don't come to the group. It's not a therapy session. My group is slightly different in that way. I wouldn't say it's a therapy session, but we're so fiercely independent. And, the majority of our lives are pretty remarkable and amazing and fulfilling. And we don't always lean on others. And so we do share a little bit of, for the first, just a kind of a check-in. But that's actually not what a manifesting group is supposed to do. So for those of you who are listening, obviously there's some wiggle room to that rule, but so many times people will come together and start complaining about their life that they miss that whole opportunity of manifesting. So either your group is like my group and is majorly fulfilled, but doesn't have a lot of people in their life to, not that we don't have our own therapists or healers or coaches or whatever, but that personally, we don't always share our emotions. And so we give ourselves this opportunity for a quick check-in. But otherwise, don't do that. Do not do that because it becomes a habit and then the energy is low. So the rule is you come together and you talk about joyful things, maybe, learn some Esther Hick techniques or other manifesting techniques and practice them within your group. And you can certainly have more than 4 people. You can have 10 people. That actually more people will raise the energy a lot faster, quite frankly. So that's what I think you need to do. Start taking action, Google manifesting groups, find out some tips and tricks for them and practice it. Practice. It will help propel your life a lot faster because when people work together in groups, energy expands and things work much quicker. Okay. Great question. Thank you.
Hi, Marie. My name is Charlene from New Jersey, and I've been grieving my husband of 48 years. And I know he gaslighted me on his smoking for years, but I'm also questioning if he was faithful to me. So if you could give me some information on that, I'd really appreciate it because it's really been troubling for me in grieving his passing. To know if he was faithful to me. And so I thank you very much for your help. Thank you.
Hello, Charlene. And I'm sorry for your question, because he's crossed. And I may not answer it exactly the way you want me to, but I'm going to answer it the way the higher self and the universe and your spirit guides want me to answer it. No, he was not faithful to you. And I don't mean sexually. They kind of don't care about that. They mean emotionally supportive, physically supportive with you, spiritually supportive with you. He was not faithful in the way that you deserved a partner. I think the word gaslighting is really weird. I don't understand all of its origin. Maybe I need to look it up. But he was abusive, emotionally, spiritually, verbally abusive to you. And he was not honest. He lied. So to me, that's not faithful, Right. So the universe doesn't care about the sex part. I know you're kind of stuck on the sex part, but the universe could care less. And at this question between you and your spouse, they don't care about that because they want you to start recognizing what you deserve and what, how precious you are and how valuable you are, and that you only deserve people who are like you in your life because you're very honest. You're very compassionate. You really care, but you stayed in this marriage for a really long time with someone that I think you just thought if you just loved him enough, he would change. But that's not a good reason to stay in a relationship or a job or a routine. Things should be a beautiful match where people grow and evolve and reconnect and expand and create more fulfillment, whether it's a relationship of any kind or a vocation or a hobby or some interesting life experience. We want to see things to expand, to become very cool and expansive. So yeah, he was not faithful to you, but maybe not in the ways that you thought. And again, they don't care about that. So they're not showing me that. It doesn't really matter. That doesn't matter. He was unfaithful in all the ways that truly matter. And so people can only treat us in the way that we treat ourselves. So it's important for you to change your perception of yourself, to fall madly in love with you. He wants that for you. His energy's changed. He's crossed over. He's had a life review. And he wishes that you had someone like yourself in your life who adores and cherishes you like you did him. That's what he says. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for listening to the podcast. It's time for me to go do other things. And I love you all. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.